This episode of the Guy Pod is brought to you by the Shops at Coldwater and Citadel Insurance Group, an Allstate agency. Citadel can take care of all of your insurance needs, from auto and homeowners to boats and life insurance and everything in between. Call 256-826-5309 to speak to one of our trusted advisors to see if Citadel can get you in a better place on your insurance. Citadel Insurance Group is open Monday through Friday from 8 to 6. The Shops at Coldwater, one of a handful of retail incubators in Alabama, is the home to a highly curated gift shop and boutique located in beautiful, historic downtown Tuscumbia, Alabama. They specialize in gifts for everyone in the family, on-trend clothing for women and kids, and have a unique mix of snacks, including glass bottle Sundrop and Frios Gourmet Pops. Stop in at 109 East 6th Street in Tuscumbia and see what everyone's talking about. The Shops at Coldwater are open Tuesday through Saturday, 10-ish to 6-ish, and Sundays and Mondays when they feel like it. And now, here are your hosts of the Guy Pod, Josh Kelly, Skip Nichols, and Adam Gooch.
And welcome to the Guy Pod. I'm Skip Nichols.
Josh Kelly.
Adam Gooch.
What's up, everybody?
What's happening?
Yeah, we are back.
Man, happy holidays.
I know, right?
It's a new year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Merica.
America.
Merica, right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We are definitely Merica.
I'm going to tell you, guys, I'm channeling my inner Toby Keith all this week.
Oh, yeah. It's been pretty crazy.
So
It's the American way.
So if you're listening to this, when you're listening to it, at the time of this, we just killed Soleimani, or however you pronounce his name. Soleimani. We just bombed the you-know-what out of him.
We did.
And I'm pretty happy about it.
No doubt.
I feel safer.
He's responsible for killing hundreds of American lives, maybe thousands, I don't know, and then tons of other nationality who are people, his own people, everybody else, and
right.
We killed him, and I'm happy about that.
Well, he messed with the wrong crew, you know?
Yeah.
Like at some point, you can hate us, but don't mess with us.
Yeah.
And he messed with us, so.
And he probably just saw it falling out of the sky, too.
He saw it coming.
Yeah.
Well, you can't run.
No. At that point, what do you do? You're just, bye.
You just kind of look up and, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of looking up, Josh and I earlier, we were talking about Space Force.
Space Force. Did you know that, as of December 20th, 2019, that they're official now? They are the 6th branch of the military.
It's like the real deal.
What I love about it is for the first year they were talking about Space Force, I just thought it was an internet meme and a joke, which is my favorite thing about it, because I didn't think it was real. I thought it was cool. It was a great idea, but I was like, I just thought it was a joke.
Well, given the news cycles of the past couple of years, it's not hard to fathom that it could have been a joke.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm really happy about the Space Force.
It's a need, I think.
Well, here's the thing. I pick when you say Space Force to me, I'm picturing, the quintessential space shuttle, right? The white with the black, with these laser cannons on the side, like a gunship. Like I'm thinking that, and you think like what a fighter plane, I can't think of the name of one, but have they got the missiles on the bottom of the wings? Like that's what I'm seeing on the bottom of the space shuttle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's got to be lasers.
We have
because lasers go against gravity, like missiles don't.
We have lasers.
Yeah. If they dropped a missile, it'd just float.
So it's got to be lasers.
No,
it's like Star Trek. It's like
they could shoot a missile in space. Here's the thing: if you're listening,
there's a reason that the Starship Enterprise shoots photon torpedoes.
That's it. Yes.
I never watched those movies.
Yes.
But here's the thing: if you're listening to this and you're some type of an engineer, let us know who's right here, because I think that you could shoot a missile in space and get it to where you want to go. No. How can you fly in space and get where you want to go? Same principle. You got propulsion.
Yeah, but it's like slow. Like anything you see done in space, it's like little puffs of air.
How do you know it's slow?
And they're expendable. Photons, you just recharge and shoot.
Yeah, just keep.
But we don't have those though.
Yeah, we have lasers.
I know we have lasers, but not like.
Hey, you didn't think we had a Space Force?
I know we have one now, but I'm not really sure exactly what the Space Force's job is. But I'm sure it's to protect. Each branch of the military has a job. Like they have here's what it is. So like Air Force is, planes, helicopters, satellites. They're all of our air and space power, right? Then you've got like the Army is the dominant land power.
Biggest branch too, right?
They are. They generally move into an area, secure it, instill order, values, then rolls out. Also, the Army is responsible for guarding U.S. installations and different properties. All right. Then you got the Coast Guard.
Yep.
Their mission is primarily, domestic waterways.
Right.
Protect it. They do law enforcement, rescues, drug prevention, clears things up.
Did you see the video of the Coast Guard guy like jumping off his
onto the
and knocking that dude off the little dinghy boat?
He jumped onto the top of the submarine.
The submarine, that's what it was.
Yeah,
and pulled dude out.
Pulled him out.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Marine Corps is the Rapid Reaction Force.
Right.
They can fight sea or land. They're usually the first boots on the ground.
Yep.
They're known as the fiercest warriors. Navy, obviously they accomplish their missions by sea, but they also air and land.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Sea,
Seal.
air, and land.
We met a seal back in the summer. When was it? Back in spring when the seal came out there and talked.
Oh yeah, came to church.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's his name? I bought his shirt. That book.
I bought his book.
Yeah, but they secure the oceans around the world and create peace and stability. Keep the seas safe for travel and trade.
Yep.
That's the Wikipedia
and then
title.
Without the Navy, there are no village people.
That's true.
That's true.
I mean, they're fighting seamen. The Navy fighting seamen.
Boo!
Wow. Said truly like a guy that was. You were in the Army, right?
I was in the Army.
Yeah. So
well, that makes sense.
Yeah. It's what years were you in?
2000 to 08.
2008.
Yeah, man. I was high speed then.
How's it feel that was like 12 years ago?
Makes me feel old. If I had stayed in, I could retire this year.
Oh, wow.
And in real life, I cannot retire this year.
No.
If I'd stayed in March the 8th of 2020, which is the year of our Lord right now, I would have had 20 years in the Army.
And you could be done.
I could be done. I could retire and get paid the rest of my life.
And then we could have started this a few weeks later.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was the Army. I joined the Army when I was 17. Went to basic between my junior and senior year. And what was cool was that I was in the infantry, and I got to leave school a little early. I had to get the superintendent to sign off on it, and I started my senior year a little late.
They were probably happy you weren't there.
I had good grades. I mean, I was a good kid. I had good grades, so they were like, all right, cool. And because I already, I don't know what you call it, clipped out of the, I was exempt from all the exams and stuff, so I was good. You don't really do anything first week or so of school anyway, so I didn't get to play football my senior year, though, because of the Army.
Huh.
But they ended up kind of working some things out, and I got to come on. But the long and short, I was gone like 15 weeks. So you're in this processing thing for like a week, then you go straight to basic. Regular basic's like 9 weeks, then you go to AIT and get your job training, whatever it is. But in the infantry, you do it all at once. And then I went straight to jump school after that and got it all knocked out before I was in 12th grade.
Huh.
And then I realized when I got home, I did not want to be in the infantry. Especially, it really hit me in jump school when they're talking about people shooting at you. And I'm like, hang on a second here.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris never got shot.
Right.
Arnold was never wounded.
Right.
You know, really people shooting at me.
I get to shoot at them. They don't get to shoot at me.
Yeah, that and I got thinking about it. It's like, I don't know if this fits my lifestyle. So I did correspondence classes and became a finance specialist, and I processed payroll.
There you go.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I
lot less chance of being shot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I ended up getting an infantry unit anyways because they needed a payroll guy.
My daughter's in the Army.
She is.
And she's got another 3 semesters down there at AUM in Montgomery. And then she'll commission as a second lieutenant. So she's been calling me every day, giving me the updates on, this, that, and the other. And she's like, I'm really glad that I have this ROTC contract right now because she's non-deployable for another year and a half, 2 years. But
amid all the Iran.
But she thinks that it's going to be over sooner than later.
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, course, I'm long time detached away from all of that, but the technology and the information we have right now at this day and age, and people that's in places that you wouldn't even believe there are, this will be swift, and it's probably over now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but
President Trump's already come out saying that they've basically backed down.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, I think they said something like, "We have now concluded the retaliation."
Yeah, like we tried.
It's like
They do not want this.
Yeah, they did try to bomb us. They missed, which they're now coming out saying that our missile defense systems basically
did their jobs.
and
So
no one was hurt. We lost a helicopter.
I went to Hawaii. I went to Maui back in the summer of 2016, and we did this. Hey, when you go out of places like that, exotic places, you can do little day tours and things like that. And there's this big volcano there in Maui, and I forgot the name of it. It's like the highest peak on the island. And we rode this van up to the top of the mountain, and we got to ride bicycles down it. Not the mountain; it's a volcano. And so we actually got to go to the very top. Is a wildlife reserve. Is it preserve or reserve?
Preserve.
Yeah.
The wildlife preserve. P,
I think so.
not
P.
an R.
Well, it's got both. It's got both.
I know, but at the beginning, is it a P? Is it
I think it's a preserve.
preserve?
Yeah, preserve.
Because I know that I like, strawberry preserves. I like them on toast.
It's like the Preservation Society of America is a preserve.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or could it be like a reservation though?
No.
Reserve? Skip Google that.
I'm Googling. It is a wildlife preserve.
With a P. So I was
With
right.
a P.
So I was right. So I'm calling it this.
All the ones around here are called refuges.
Refuges. So anyways, at the very top is the wildlife preserve. And at the very top as well as they have the, what do they call it? The space, what do they call it? Space, I want to call it space balls, but it's not it. Not Space Force, but maybe it's called Space Force. The missile defense system that they came out with. Star Wars. There you go, Star Wars. And so it's up there, and there's like 4 or 5 fences. And the guide was like, "Hey, listen, you can walk up close to that fence, but you don't go past that fence." He said, "They'll shoot you." And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." He said, "No." He said, "They'll shoot you." He said, so you walk up to the fence, it's got a sign that says, "Do not touch the fence. Do not get within 5 feet of the fence." But evidently the satellite there can see something the size of a basketball like 100 miles above the Earth's surface.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Like it's pretty cool. I mean,
I've got a feeling that we've got a lot of people in the audience that are connected to different branches in some way, shape, or another.
Yeah.
Why don't we talk a little bit about all the different branches and kind of see what we know about their history?
Right.
I like it. Well, I know a lot about the Army.
Yeah.
Of course.
I probably forgot a lot, but I'm not going to sing.
Yeah.
But I can.
You gonna sing the songs?
I can. I can.
I'd like to hear it.
I mean, what kind of songs do you want to hear? I mean, do you want to hear like
The G-rated cadences?
the cadences?
Yeah.
My favorite one is called Little Bird.
Little Bird.
Yeah. It's a little bird. Let me see if I can remember it. Little bird with a little head. I don't remember.
G-rated.
I remember sitting on a windowsill. You lured him in with a piece of bread. Then I smashed his little head. And then there was a one where we just shouted airborne the whole time.
The only one I'm super familiar with is There She Was Just walking down the street. Singing doo-wah-diddy-doo, diddy-doo.
Here's the thing. I remember in basic training, we tried that one time, and we were so offbeat that the drill sergeant got mad and smoked us. So when you get smoked, that means like you got to get down and do push-ups and stuff. And I went to basic in Fort Benning, Georgia in the middle of the summer of 2000.
Well, that was nice and comfortable.
And like it was like hot as anywhere I've ever been, and the ants are like an inch long there on Sand Hill. And you'd be down on this blacktop pavement stuff. You could smell the flesh burning on your hands, and you can't say anything about it.
Or you get smoked more.
Absolutely, and that's no fun. One time, this guy, there wasn't cell phones then. And, well, maybe there was, but we didn't. None of us had one. And somebody bought had one of those little disposable cameras, that you wind up. Remember those? And he was we were out on bivouac. We were doing something out in the woods, and this guy, he was posing, and had this other guy taking his picture, and one of the drill sergeants saw it, and he got him down, was making him do push-ups. He took all 20 pictures of him doing push-ups.
Oh my gosh.
It was great. Some of that stuff they said was like, I mean, it was funny. I mean, just the things these drill sergeants came up with, and like you wanted to laugh, but you couldn't laugh.
Yeah.
But it was pretty good.
When Abby was out in Fort Sill, her drill sergeant, I guess they do everything they can to try to find stuff out about you. And some way, somehow, he found her IMDb page because, it's been a couple bit parts in movies and different things. And so the entire time she was there, he either called her Hollywood, Talladega, or Bama. And just totally made fun of the way she talked the whole time. She's like, I never thought I had an accent until I got to the Army.
Yeah.
I had this one drill sergeant call me Texas Pete. And I'm like, here's the thing, I'm from Alabama, drill sergeant. I don't care, you're Texas Pete, boy. I was like, all right.
You just be whatever they tell you to be.
I also learned that you never volunteer for anything when you're in the military, especially basic training. It's a lot different once you get out of that. But, of course, when I went through, they could still really mess with you. There wasn't... Yeah. Right after I went through in the early 2000s, some senator's son went through and complained to his dad. And anyways, everybody's just, I mean, it's not that hard now. I'll just say that even when I went through, my dad was he got drafted to Vietnam. He had me,
scared to
prepared, and I got through like the third week, and I'm like, this is
bad
hard
stuff coming.
Well, I mean, like, this is hard, but it's not that hard. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's not what I thought it was. Of course, he probably had it. He went whenever Vietnam was in the 70s. He had me built up, that get ready. But so, what story was I telling? Oh, not to volunteer for anything. Yeah. So they asked who could drive a truck. Well, I can drive a truck. First one hand up. Come on, Kelly. And next thing I know, I am toting a wheelbarrow from one side to the other with some sandbags we needed for a thing. So
that's a truck.
I learned not to volunteer or anything after that. And they waited a couple of weeks, and they said, who wants to go bowling? And I knew. Here's the thing.
This is not.
Fool me once, okay.
Yeah.
But I learned my lesson, and there's a couple. Everybody's hand went up, and I remember saying, I didn't budge. He said, "What's wrong, Kelly? You don't like to go bowling?" No, sir. No, sir. I said, "No, drill sergeant." I said, I don't like to bowl." And he started laughing, and he picked 5 or 6 of them. That was cleaning the toilets. Was going bowling.
Going bowling.
So,
yeah.
I've got lots of stories like that. But so the Army, I can tell you some information about the Army. So the Army was officially established by the Continental Congress on June 14th, 1775.
1775.
So about a year before we actually got our independence.
Yeah, that was the first one. So
it's also Flag Day, June 14th, I think.
So
makes sense.
One thing too about the Army, though, that's not the modern day Army we have today. The modern day Army was, let me see, I've got these notes somewhere. I don't know what I did with it. It was like in the 1780s. Because after the Treaty of Paris, they disbanded everything and then formed the Army back up.
Right.
And then, of course, everything else followed suit. But they're the biggest by far, active duty and reserve. There's as many National Guard as there are active, just about as many active duty as there is Guard. Then the reserves are about half. It seemed like there's last I looked, it was 360,000 active duty.
Right.
And about that many Guard and about half that reservist.
Cool.
So, if you look all in, there's
folks.
600,000-700,000.
Yeah.
So,
Which makes it cool, too, because the Army is so large, there's bases all over the world. So if you join the Army, you can pretty much go anywhere you want. You can see the world, literally.
It's really neat, too, because of the National Guard is owned by the state.
Yes.
You're in the Army, but you're controlled by the state and stuff, so that's pretty interesting as well. Yep. So yeah, that's my... If we're being honest, the Army's the best.
Well...
it is. It is.
Some would say.
We're all military's military, but we're the best.
Well, there's some that would argue against that.
Yeah.
But nobody else is here that's been in any of it, so I can say that and have the microphone. My sister's boyfriend, fiance, they're probably going to end up getting married. He's a Marine, and I really enjoy messing with him. I got a lot of Marine friends.
Marines are awesome, no doubt.
But I really like messing with him.
Yeah. They deserve the bragging rights, but it seems like Marines brag about being Marines more than any other branch.
Oh, 100%.
Very proud of it.
You don't hear anybody in the Army braggadocious about, I'm in the Army, but like Marines, you're going to know if they're Marine.
They're very proud.
Yeah,
you know,
which is cool. That's a cool.
No, absolutely. I mean, those guys are hardcore. Fun fact, when you join the military, no matter what, you go to this place called MEPS. It's a military entrance processing station. So at the time, I went to the one in Nashville. And so you go up there, you meet with these liaisons for each branch, and then you take these tests, ASFAB and all that stuff, and they take what you qualify for and stuff. So I was torn between the Marines and the Army when I joined, and I decided to go Marines because I thought it was cooler at the time.
I got the dress blues.
And I got up there, and I walked and I sat down with the Marines liaison, and he's like, all right, and this is the best sales guys you'll ever come in contact with.
Oh, yeah,
no doubt. They're sitting there at that desk, and they got 2 or 3 guys around you, the recruiters there, and they're trying to get you to pretty much do what they want you to do, all of them. And he was like, here's what you should do right here, and it was kind of I don't even remember what it was, but something was like, well, I will die right away if I pick this. And I was like, well, what about my bonus? And we don't do bonuses in here in the Marines. You'll be a Marine. I'm like, no, bro. And I looked at the recruiter. I said, you told me I was going to get this and all this stuff. And he's like, well, you'll get, and I was like, no, dog, I'm out. So I said, let me think about this. And I walked out and I saw the Army recruiter. I said, hey, man, what you talked about, is that still on the table? He said, absolutely. I said, you take me home tomorrow? He said, absolutely. So that's how I got in the Army. And I went in there.
It's a bonus.
And so I did
Show me the money.
I did it for the money at that point. And I was really torn anyways. And so that was a funny story. So when you're there, you get violated.
Right.
Like I mean violated, like you're in a room with these guys with white lab coats on, these minor lights on, and you're standing there in the nude with all these other guys, and they've got you bending over, checking things inside you, and all of this is not pretty.
Right.
Yeah, Abby was not discussing anything that happened at MEPS. She was like, no.
They check up in your butthole. I'm just going to tell you right now. Not pleasant.
Yeah.
So I've got a brother that did the first half of his career in the Navy and then finished out Army. So, I guess I was a struggle for him at the football game every year.
Right.
Stand in the middle, right behind the goalpost.
Which way do you cheer? I mean, what do you do? I asked him one time, he says, well, I wait until the end of the game and I cheer for whoever won.
I'm in on that.
Basically.
I'm in on that. There was a guy, this older guy that I was at basic with, and he never really talked. No, I mean, didn't talk at all, the whole 9 yards. And so I remember at the end when we were graduating, we got our dress uniforms on and all this. He's got it looked like he was about to fall over with all the medals and stuff. And we're like, what the crap? And like, what are you doing? And I was like, bro, he's just like, well, I was in the Navy 15 years and beforehand. And I forgot why he had to go back through basic. But I was just like this guy was like a real, bad, what? I mean, and I was just like, and the whole time I was like, I thought you were a dork, because he just never really talked. He was this old guy, and I was like 17. I was just like, what a nerd. And like, this guy could kill me with his pinky. But it was funny because you get to keep all of your awards and medals, the things you wear in your uniform. And I'm serious, he had more than half the drill sergeants there. And
probably had 2 shoeboxes full.
And nobody knew. And I was just like, what the crap? Like, and he'd come out. He was
looking like a general, didn't he?
I don't remember if he was something like, I don't remember if he was a SEAL before or something. He was something cool, and but anyways, I love it. But
it's cool when you think, like, we talk about the Space Force just being put in. Like, it doesn't seem like it's the military, like you shouldn't be adding, but like the Air Force was added after World War II. Right. So it was founded in like 47.
Right. It was the Army Air Guard or Army Air something or another at first, and then that became the Air Force, and now that part of that becomes the Space Force.
Yeah.
So I guess the Space Force is the grandchild branch of the Army. Is that how that works?
Sort of.
Could be.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, it just continues to
call it a love
progress.
child?
Pretty much. The Air Force was created because they recognized that ground forces needed air support. Now we've just elevated to the level of technology and all that even air, whether it be satellite navigation or whatever, it needs space protection. So
And the cool
awesome.
thing is
the Air Force
like,
controls all the nukes too.
yes.
They control the nuclear missiles.
So all these planes that are dropping these bombs over there, there's nobody flying them. There's
Right.
dude with a joystick
Now it's all drones.
And so cool story.
miles away.
Cool story. A friend of mine who's an insurance agent in upstate New York, in Rochester, New York, his brother designed and laid out NORAD.
Oh, wow.
So over in Colorado Springs, and we were over there for an event, and I got to go in there and like look in the front door. Like that's about as far as they would let me. So at the time, I still had a security clearance. I had a secret security clearance. I didn't have the top secret at the time, and I got to walk in the door.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, it wasn't like
Well, like war games?
No, it was like literally, it was like a couple of chairs and looked like an old dentist office where the part they got to go into.
Yeah.
But I got to
You
go
saw,
in.
you saw reception.
Well, I got to go in there and meet his brother, who, man, and I don't forgot what he is. He's really high up in the whatever. But so I mean, you got these guys over there in a hill in Colorado, flying drones all over the world.
No doubt.
Like that's pretty cool. So I don't know, what goes into like with that drone strike on, Salami Boy over there, but like somebody in Colorado could have been doing that.
Absolutely.
That's pretty awesome.
I think it's cool. Like when you look, because you talk about which branch is like the coolest or the strongest, but it seems like it's so personality based. Like
100%.
Marines are Marines, but like Air Force is different. But like there's some bad boys. They can call them Chair Force if they want to. But
Here's the thing: there's cool things for everything, and we have to have all of them to protect and
For sure.
and do what we do. But I mean, when you really dig into it, there's all kinds of different nuances and stuff. So like the Army, there's every position there is. I mean, from the combat jobs to postmen to doctors to attorneys, lawyers, Marines, all their jobs are combat.
Yep.
Same thing in the Navy and stuff like. You think about these battleships and these giant submarines that are going. I mean, these are cities.
Oh, yeah.
They're floating cities.
Yeah.
They've got everything.
There's no way that I could be in a submarine for 2 months underwater, or it just blows my mind thinking about that.
Yeah, when I first looked at going in the Navy, that was going to be my job. And that's one of the reasons that I ended up not going is I was going to be in a submarine most of the time. Now, I've got a good friend, probably the oldest friend that I can actually remember. Right out of high school, he went in and he was a submariner for years. Man. And loved all that stuff. But
I get seasick. I couldn't do the Navy.
I don't get seasick, but I don't know that I would enjoy that.
Yeah.
now my brother, the one that was in the Navy, the ship that he was stationed on, they had just built. They built it in Norfolk, Virginia, and it was going to be home ported in like San Diego. And it was too big to go through the Panama Canal, and because of the time of the year, it couldn't go around the bottom of South America. So he gets assigned to that ship, USS Carl Vinson, CVN 70. I don't know why I still remember the number for it. Anyway, he gets assigned to that ship, and he has a 9-month cruise around the world to get it to its home port.
Wow.
So he's on that ship for 9 months.
So he literally sailed that around the world.
Yes,
He's literally
sailed around the world.
That's cool.
That is cool.
That's a cool story.
Yep.
Yeah.
And his son was born while he was gone, born on like the 28th of June. But where he was, it was already the 29th of June, so he still confuses his birthday.
That's funny.
When was I actually born?
My mom's dad was in World War II, and he was those big guns on the side of the ships.
Oh, yeah.
That so like when they were storming Normandy and beach and all that stuff, like he was shooting. He was covering those guys. He was covering those guys.
That's
rad. He's passed, but like he wouldn't talk about it.
Yeah.
He wouldn't. I mean, he wouldn't talk about it. Like those guys really see some. I never saw any war time when I was in during when everything was popping off in the Middle East. But I actually when I graduated, I got an ROTC scholarship. That's what ended me up in Florence. And so in 2001, I was a freshman at UNA, and when everything popped off, and I couldn't get deployed.
Wouldn't send, yeah.
No, I wanted to, but you think about those guys back in, all of them, what our people see or troops see every day. But you think about World War II, man. Those guys just seeing people getting cut in half on the beach.
Yeah, easy.
Whew, man,
That's tough.
Yeah, the one I think that doesn't get the props it probably deserves, because it's probably the most made fun of, is the Coast Guard, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, when I saw that guy jump off the boat or the helicopter, whatever it was, jump on that submarine, jerk that guy out, punch him.
That was awesome. Hey, let's take a quick break. We got to get a commercial in for our now national sponsor.
Hey-o.
Thank you, Allstate. So we're going to take a quick break. Hang on to those thoughts about the Coast Guard, and we will be right back.
Let's face it, sometimes local is just better. Locally grown, locally sourced, shop local, eat local. But what about local expertise? At Allstate, Josh Kelly is just that, a local. So contact Tuscumbia Allstate agent Josh Kelly today so he can help you with protection that's right for you and the things you love most. His team can be reached at 256-826-5309. Allstate, are you in good hands? Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
I'm going to tell you guys, that made me tingly listening to that.
You love anybody talking about you.
I do. I can't help it.
Yeah, it helps.
I like seeing my picture.
Yeah.
I like seeing my name.
You got your billboard. You can see that.
I do. Yeah, so that's fun. But yeah, Coast Guard guys, those rescue guys,
Listen.
they're
Guardian did it. The Guardian made me a believer in the Coast
They're
Guard.
nuts.
Yeah.
They're
Ashton
nuts.
Kutcher, Kevin Costner, that did it.
But I think that was good, though, because you think of the guys that are in the Navy. Well, the Coast Guard's doing the exact same stuff. Yeah. They're just protecting the U.S. borders and stuff. So it's
I looked it up. So according to the U.S. Coast Guard Boating Resource Center, on an average day, so this is just like what these dudes do every day, right? The Coast Guard conducts 109 search and rescues, saves 10 lives, seizes 169 pounds of marijuana and 306 pounds of cocaine worth $9.6 million, and investigates 6 vessel casualties.
Wow.
That's an average. Yeah.
That's an average day, work day.
So they're at war with the cartel, right?
Yeah.
So while the others are battling,
so there are no rules and there are no rules of engagement in that war.
No. Yeah. You're fighting the people directly to our south.
Weren't they called something else before?
the Revenue Cutter Service.
The Revenue Cutter Service.
Yep.
The Revenue Cutters.
They were established as they were the smallest. They are the smallest of all U.S. branches, but they were started as the Revenue Cutter Service in 1790, and in 1915 they were reformed as the Coast Guard under the Treasury Department.
Huh.
Kind of like Secret Service.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what people don't know now is that they're actually part of the Department of Homeland Security.
Well, so in 1967 they were transferred to the Department of Transportation, and then 2002 they got switched to Homeland Security.
Gotcha.
So
that makes sense with
so
everything that was going on there.
Cool thing is that the president can be like, if there's something like crazy going on, they have the power to transfer them, to control them to the Navy.
Yeah. So they just swap over to be.
Yep.
Yeah.
They can do part or all of it. They can transfer them to the Navy.
Coast Guard people don't
if
know.
there's like a time of conflict.
Yeah. People in the Coast Guard, they're actually Navy SEALs who came from the Coast Guard.
Oh wow.
You could be Coast Guard SEAls, because it's like you said, functions under the Navy. So
that's pretty cool.
The 4-star admiral over the Coast Guard is the Coast Guard Commandant.
The Commandant.
Commandant's a cool word.
It is. Yeah.
It just sounds good.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Well, you were saying earlier, I'll read this because you said that the Army's the best. So according to Glassdoor, right? So the career website, according to Glassdoor,
This will be good.
Yeah, when you look at top rated military service branch,
Air Force.
no, actually,
Really?
So they went through all their polls. The Marine Corps is number one based on all polled. The Marine Corps gets 4.2 stars out of 5. Number 2 is the Air Force. They get 4.1. Navy's number 3. They get 4 stars. Coast Guard is also tied into the Navy. They get 4 stars. Army ended up last, 3.9.
I could have told you that.
Wow.
Yeah, 3.9.
100% could have told you that.
So according to all their research and all that, 86% of Marines say they would recommend the Marines to a friend. So 86% of Marines are that guy that
Absolutely.
Marines are the only way. The same number goes for airmen. So Air Force, 86%.
What about the seamen?
The seamen, 83% of seamen say they would recommend seamen to their friends.
I cannot not laugh at that, y'all. I'm sorry.
80% of Coast Guardsmen say they would recommend the Coast Guard, but only 78% of those in the Army would recommend the Army.
And 100% of terrorists would recommend against getting drone strike.
Yes.
What was that joke you told me earlier?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if that's needs to go all the way across the world.
Here's the thing. If somebody's listening to our podcast and they're offended by the joke that I want you to say, they're on the wrong podcast.
You need to find a different podcast.
Because here's the thing. We literally have bacon in our logo.
Yeah. What color was General Soleimani's eyes?
I don't know.
It's blue. One blue that way and one blue the other.
That's just as funny the second time I heard it. Oh, that's good.
Blue. Wow.
That's good.
Yeah. I do think the moral of the story is regardless of what branch of military you discuss,
You're a bad you-know-what guy.
they're all awesome in all different kind of ways. Takes all of them. And if you mess with one, you get all of them.
That's right, man.
You mess with the bull, you get the horns.
That's it.
What's a fun thing, too, is the dynamic between enlisted and the officers.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, you call an enlisted guy sir or something, and, the classic line is, I work for a living, boy.
Yeah.
I've seen both sides of that, but it's pretty cool. One of the things that you see inside of the special operations guys, like the SEALs, the Rangers, Army Special Forces, the what's the Air Force guys, is it the search and no, what's the Air Force elite guys?
I don't know. Man,
it's going to drive me nuts. I'll Google it, but you don't see the I got to Google this now. But you don't see the rank and stuff as much of a thing in that.
Right.
The respect level's a little bit different.
Yeah.
The elite team.
The elite team. Sounds
Air
pretty
Force
awesome.
Special Tactics. Pararescue, that's it. The pararescue, Air Force pararescue guys.
Looks like they got a lot of the special reconnaissance, TAC.
Yeah, the Marines got the Special Operations Command guys.
Yep.
They do all that crazy stuff. Yes, the Air Force pararescue. Those guys are pretty bad. And, of course, you got the Special Forces or the Green Berets.
They have something called TACP, Tactical Air Control Parties, too.
Yeah, I couldn't think of what it was called. All those guys are pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
Very hardcore.
You don't want to get on their bad side.
Just the training that these guys do. Like, you think of a professional athlete.
Right.
Like, let's just think of a pro golfer, right?
Yep.
And you put it in terms of how many balls a day these guys are hitting and how long they've hit for, hundreds and thousands of balls every day, and that's all they do is eat, breathe, sleep, and we're not playing. They're watching film and studying and all the stuff that goes with it. Well, these guys are doing the same thing, but they're training to kill people.
No doubt.
And
marksmanship.
And do different, and
it's not golf shots. It's
breaking into places and running like it,
Right.
and it's really they practice that much. These guys are they're pretty awesome. One of my favorite shows on TV right now is SEAL Team.
Yes, absolutely.
And I don't know how accurate it is because I've never been a SEAL, but from what training I did, I was in the infantry, but it's different level. We did a lot of training and stuff, but not like these guys. And I could imagine that what they do is even that show kind of gives you a glimpse into a piece of it, but it's not. There's no way they see really what these guys do every day. But
that show does a good job letting you see too. Obviously, always sort of the unsung part of anyone that's in the armed forces is like the family side on the back.
Oh, yeah.
Like what it does to their marriages and their relationships with their kids, and like it. Mm-hmm. It's a family calling. So just as many heroes here at home as there are fighting overseas.
It's tough. I'm just glad that there's guys like that.
Yeah.
That do the things that they do.
Now, a few weeks ago, I don't think we've recorded a podcast since Josh and I went on this little trip, but we got to meet a guy that his dad was General Patton's right-hand guy, Ace.
Ace.
Wow.
So
Corky, the guy.
I think we can say what we did. We did the Bourbon Trail in Kentucky, and it was so much fun. I love how things are made. That's one of my favorite shows, how it's made.
How it's made, yeah.
I love seeing the inner workings of things. Like, I love touring factories, like anything like that I can get behind the scenes on. And we had a guy trip, and we went up to Kentucky for a couple of days and toured different distilleries and stuff. And we met this guy, and
He was cool.
I'm gonna tell you, like, I wanted to be his friend.
I did. I wanted to hang out with this guy.
We were fanboying. I mean, we were fanboying.
And we just met him.
And super cool guy. He was an insurance guy, and he ended up resurrecting his family's distillery. But his dad was Ace.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, he was his number 2, man.
Corky has General Patton's sidearm.
The one he carried everywhere.
Yeah.
He's got it.
Golly.
He owns
He's
it.
got it.
What's that thing worth?
Oh,
It's priceless.
I mean,
To me, it's priceless.
And then the stories this guy told, man, I mean, it's not just that, but
It's 6 figures. I mean, probably 300-400 grand.
everywhere you turn, he had another story. One of them being his college roommates were the Allman Brothers and Al Gore.
True story. The 4 of them in the school, that military school they were at.
what's more cool about that is that Al Gore actually roomed with the Allman
Well,
Brothers.
they booted Al Gore after about 3 or 4 weeks.
They hated
They
him.
said he was too square.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He said that him and the Allman Brothers ended up getting kicked out of that place shortly after that. But that was a neat story.
But he had a lot of cool stories.
What was Corky's last name?
Taylor.
Corky Taylor. He owns the Peerless,
Kentucky Peerless Distillery in
I'm gonna tell
downtown
you,
Louisville.
man, I don't like the way a lot of that stuff tastes. I'm not really into that kind of stuff, but I really like the history of it.
Yeah.
Of course, that's Skip's thing. He knows more about that stuff than anybody.
He's pretty up on it.
It was kind of Skip's bachelor party, pretty much.
Yeah.
But we had a it was a great trip.
It was a cool trip. A lot of cool stuff. And seeing just the different nuances of how they make the stuff,
the processes,
yeah,
and how they were different, but all just alike too. It was really cool.
But yeah, Corky was like, if you're ever in Louisville, Kentucky on a Saturday, he gives you the first half of the tour. He works on Saturdays giving tours.
Wow.
And he tells you all about the family history. And
he's worth the $30.
He is a great dude.
It was neat. It was really neat.
So, fun fact before we keep going, because I had to look this up. We were talking about lasers earlier.
Yes.
We do have lasers. And we actually have them developed and deployed by the U.S. Navy. So, currently, we have one. In December 2014, the United States Navy reported that the LAWS, so laser weapons system, worked perfectly against low-end asymmetric threats. And so it is now deployed on the USS Ponce and is authorized for defense.
What does it do when you hit somebody with a laser?
It just like melts it. Like it just, there's
Shoots
videos.
a hole through
You
it.
can look it up. There's videos on YouTube of this thing in action. It's awesome. But yeah, it just.
I wonder what something like that cost though.
It works so well.
I'm sure there's a real cost to it, but what they charged, whoever developed it charged the Navy, it's got to be $1 billion.
So they're in January 2018, the Navy announced a $150 million contract with Lockheed Martin for the production of 2 more laser units to be delivered in 2020. One will be fitted to the USS Arleigh Burke, while the other will be used for land-based testing.
So $75 million a laser.
So further contract options could bring the value to $942.8 million. So you're pretty close to that $1 billion. So we got lasers.
We've got $1 billion lasers. I want next step, attaching them to sharks.
Laser sharks. Hey, let me tell you another. And the only reason I know this is I teach psychology. Have for about 14 years at a local college. And when we start talking about perception and sensation and stuff like that, this actually was in the textbook. The Army has this, it looks like a big satellite dish. Mm-hmm. It's mounted on top of these trucks. And it's a crowd control kind of weapon. And what it does, it emits sound waves that when they hit the human body, it activates the nerves under the skin, and it makes the people feel like they're on fire. But they're not actually on fire.
Just makes you run away.
Just makes you run away.
Like,
So not only do we have lasers, but we can actually make you feel like you're on fire.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And that's just the stuff we know about.
yeah.
Did you hear about the guy, the soldier who survived the mustard gas and pepper spray? He was a seasoned veteran. Bam, bam, bam.
Got it. Yeah. That's just like, think of all the stuff. If we know that we have lasers and like electromagnetic deals and sound waves that make you feel like you're on fire, like what do we have that they haven't released yet?
Yeah.
God, or that we just don't know about.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff that goes on. They told
my
us
goodness.
we would do something stupid.
For
you know?
sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
They probably keep all of it out of Area 51.
Did you hear about the accident at the Army base a couple weeks ago? Yeah, a tank ran over a box of popcorn and killed 2 colonels. With a K, colonels.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
It's going south quick.
I got a lot of good jokes.
Do you, though?
Yeah, what do you call a Marine with an open head wound? A jarhead. Hey, the last one. What branch of the military do babies join? The infantry. Wow.
They're getting worse.
All right, one more. Did you guys hear about the karate champion who joined the military? He nearly killed himself the first time he saluted.
Now, why is that one funny?
I don't know.
That's awesome.
How about what? No, some of these I can't read out loud.
This is a PG.
All right, where do rabbits learn to fly? In the Air Force.
Oh, yeah. No.
They're getting worse. They're
That's
getting
funny.
progressively
Yeah.
worse.
You should have stopped on the karate chop one.
You really should. That one was
You'd
up there.
finally got ahead.
What did the Navy say to the Coast Guard? We'll seal you later.
Oh, my God.
All right, last one for real. What do you call a snail aboard a ship? A snailer. That's funny.
Is it though? Is it really funny?
Here's the
He's
thing.
not a sailor. He's a snailer.
Forget you guys. Somebody is Chad Johnson.
It's probably-
he's about to pass out right now.
He is. He's going
laughing
to
at
laugh
me.
so hard.
So I don't care about you two. Chad Johnson's laughing right
So
now.
here's the deal, Natalie. If you're listening with him when this podcast comes out, if he does pass out, please video it.
So we've got a friend, Chad Johnson, who gets so tickled and laughing. He actually started laughing so hard one time, he passed out and hit his head and had to get stitches.
Yeah.
True story.
Big supporter of the podcast.
Put a pillow under his head before anything like that
Love you,
happens.
Chad.
But please do get video there, Natalie.
Oh, man.
Are we ending on my jokes?
I don't know where we go from there, to be honest.
Do we take our final commercial break and then come back with fake news?
Probably.
Go Army. Real Tide.
Let's face it, sometimes local is just better. Locally grown, locally sourced, shop local, eat local. But what about local expertise? At Allstate, Josh Kelly is just that, a local. So contact Tuscumbia Allstate agent Josh Kelly today so he can help you with protection that's right for you and the things you love most. His team can be reached at 256-826-5309. Allstate, are you in good hands? Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
You read that so well, Gus.
I appreciate that.
All right, folks, it's that time of the week when we do our fake news. And for those of you that might be joining us for the first time, we've got 3 news stories that I'll be sharing with you. And it's up to Gooch and Josh to decide which one is the true story. You guys ready?
Let's do it.
Oddly enough, nothing out of Florida.
Oh, wow.
Shut up.
Absolutely.
That makes it more difficult.
Go home.
Absolutely nothing out of Florida this week. Okay. News story number 1, if you're keeping score at home. President Trump says that when he is no longer president, he intends to buy the entire NFL. This comes out of Washington, D.C. on Fox News Sunday. President Donald Trump was asked about his plans once his time in the White House has come to an end, and his answer has critics slamming him once again. Trump responded that he will set his sights on buying every NFL team to restore it back to its former glory. A few minutes later, when they were about to go to the commercial, he sported a hat that said, "Make football great again." That is story number 1.
He could do that. I mean, he could.
He could, yeah.
Story number 2. And this is kind of interesting since we've been talking about Space Force. And I set this up before we started talking about Space Force.
Wow.
So anyway, Hubble captures image of golf ball orbiting the moon, Houston, Texas. NASA officials say the golf ball struck from the moon's surface by Commander Alan Shepard during the Apollo 14 mission in February 1971 has been spotted orbiting the moon. Shepard drove the first 6-iron shot from a dusty lie on February 9th with a good backswing and follow-through. His second shot was duffed and only went a few feet, and he picked that one up. NASA physicist Gordon Stillwell said that with a gravity factor 1/6 that of the Earth, it was reasonably easy for the ball to leave the moon's surface and enter orbit. Using the standard orbital decay formula, it is estimated to fall back to the moon sometime in the year 2037.
Wow.
So...
That's a cool story. I want that to be true.
I want it to be true.
And I know he hit golf balls on the moon.
Was he on the moon, though?
Alan Shepard? Yeah.
Are you one of those?
Oh.
That's a different episode.
That's a different episode. Okay. And story number 3, for those of you keeping score at home, researchers discover a seaweed that tastes like bacon and is twice as healthy as kale. This comes out of Corvallis, Oregon, and Oregon State University. The seaweed, a form of red marine algae, looks like translucent red lettuce. It also has twice the nutritional value of kale and grows very quickly. Did we mention it tastes like bacon? According to Oregon State researcher Chris Langdon, his team started growing the new strain while trying to find a good food source for edible sea snails, or abalone, a very popular food in many parts of Asia. The strain is a new type of red algae that normally grows along the Pacific and Atlantic coastlines. So those are your 3 stories, guys. We've got seaweed that tastes like bacon, Trump is going to buy all of the NFL, or there's a golf ball orbiting the moon that will fall back to the moon sometime in 2037.
All right, I got mine.
So, I mean, Trump would say something like that.
He would.
He would say something like that.
Yeah.
And then the golf ball, like, I think
it could happen.
It could happen. I mean, could he hit it hard enough that it would go into orbit? I mean, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
And then the
'Cause if he
seaweed
duffed
bacon.
the second one, he probably wasn't a very good golfer. You know?
And then the seaweed bacon thing.
I mean, can seaweed really taste like bacon?
I think I've had lots of stuff where this tastes just like so-and-so, and I taste it like it tastes nothing like what you said it tasted like. So, like, I think that they can think, here's the thing. People that eat tofu and all of this health stuff
Yeah.
think that certain things taste good because they're used to eating cardboard. So I think that they would think that it tastes like bacon, but it doesn't really.
Yeah.
But I'm out on Trump
Yeah.
in the NFL. I'm out on that one.
Yeah.
I was in on golf ball till more I got thinking about the seaweed thing. So I don't know.
Yeah. Because, like, even if it could make it out, like, which, I mean, I guess the atmosphere of the moon would, like, if a golf ball could leave Earth's atmosphere, it'd just get, like, burned up. It wouldn't survive. But, like, maybe the moon's different.
I don't think the moon has an atmosphere. Honestly, because
I'm going with the bacon seaweed.
Yeah, 100%.
bacon seaweed?
Yep.
You are correct, sir.
Yeah. Go on.
Langdon realized he had his hands on something with a lot more potential when his colleague Chuck Toombs visited his office and caught a glimpse of the growing seaweed. Toombs said he thought the bacon seaweed had the potential for a new industry in Oregon. He told Oregon State in a press release. Some red algae is now sold in the U.S., but it's a different strain than one harvested at OSU. Langdon says he's growing about 20 to 30 pounds of the stuff a week, but he plans to more than triple the production. So congratulations, guys.
Got it.
Back in the saddle again.
Now, like, I'd like to try the seaweed, I'll be honest. If I had some here, I would eat it.
Hey, listen, if you're listening to this and you've got this, we want to try it.
Yeah.
If you have the seaweed bacon,
Or
the bacon seaweed.
Can you order bacon seaweed?
I don't know. We could probably get in touch with this guy Langdon.
Yeah.
Chris Langdon at
We could tell them
Oregon State
that
University.
we run a very popular podcast.
Very extensively popular podcast.
Yeah.
We're now available.
Also, too,
we now have
listen.
listeners in 5 countries.
Listen, guys and gals. We have gals too. We can be bought. So if you have something cool that you want us to talk about, just give us all one.
Yep.
And if we like it, we'll talk about it.
And even if we don't like it, we'll unbox it or whatever it is
Yeah.
you do on the air and make it sound like we love it.
Yeah. But you need to pay us if it's not something that's cool.
Then you have to pay us not to talk about it.
Things that we like. We like tech gadgets.
Yeah.
We like
Food.
Food.
I mean, anything cool.
Anything cool.
Or that we can use.
Yeah.
We need to do an episode on my special underwear.
Do we, though?
We should, because here's the thing. Anybody that I've ever got to buy a pair and try them swears by it. Skip,
Yeah. I mean, I'm in.
you called me an idiot for 6 months, and finally...
Well, that had nothing to do with underwear, if we're being honest.
But you fought it for 6 months, and you got you a pair.
And
then
that's
ordered
all
20.
I wear. And this is 3 years now?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm about to throw up my mouth. I just got a mental picture of you in your underwear.
Well, you know, the thought of you saying, hey, to everybody you know, you need to try these underwear.
Yeah,
and
amazing.
the sad part is that a lot of you out there listening right now are also wearing this underwear because of Josh's recommendation.
I can't believe you don't sell it yet.
We've tried.
We tried, and we hooked up with these guys in Turkey, and we were trying to get them manufactured because, fun fact, Turkey has a ton of textile mills and stuff like that. They make very good quality
Socks
clothing and
and
stuff,
underwear.
socks, underwear, clothes, that kind of stuff. But a lot of sock factories and stuff over there. Also, North Carolina has a bunch of sock factories. Like North Carolina is like the sock capital of the United States.
Yeah, they make our sock dude socks.
Yep.
In North Carolina.
So
Tar Heel's logo is a sock. So,
it,
think about that.
I never have.
Oh, yeah.
It is. It's the Tar Heel sock.
It's the sock state. It's no longer the Tar Heel state.
It looks better than like a foot, probably.
Yeah.
So it
Interesting.
is a sock. I don't know if that's just coincidence, maybe.
I've never thought about what a tar heel was.
I don't know what a Tar Heel is.
I guess it's a tar on your foot, like a heel of your foot and a tar with tar on it.
Yeah.
Somebody walked in tar. Now they have a tar heel.
I guess so. Kind of like an Aggie.
I don't know what Aggie is.
It's a bear, isn't it?
No, I mean, it's A&M, this agriculture, so the
yeah.
people there, they're Aggies.
Well, like an Google it.
Yeah.
What's an Aggie?
Well, that's
their
exactly what it
mascot's
is.
a dog.
It's A&M.
Dog, bulldog, or a bear or something.
Their mascot's like a lassie dog.
Okay, so Aggie's a dog.
What do you think about somebody having a mascot that has nothing to do with their name, Skip?
I don't know. Elephants. Also, fun fact, we had lunch this week with the first person to be Big Al for the football season.
Really?
So a person who attends an agricultural college is called an Aggie. Now, the definition of an Aggie is an agricultural college or a student at such a school. So I was right.
So what animal?
So Auburn fans can be Aggies.
Because Hamilton High School are Aggies.
Because
It is
started
great
out as an agricultural school. Or, here's the thing.
It's a dog.
Sometimes people could just call something that don't mean that.
All right.
I mean, that's a thing too.
Words mean things.
Or you could be somebody like Skip, who went to Auburn, and their mascot is a tiger and an eagle. They don't know what the difference is.
The mascot is a tiger. The war cry is War Eagle.
So y'all don't have an actual eagle down there? You don't have shirts with eagles on it?
We do. Do y'all have shirts that say Roll Tide?
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with your mascot, Big Al.
Roll Tide is what we say.
War Eagle's what we say.
But you have an eagle.
Do you have a tide?
No?
You're just sad because you don't have a tide.
I kind of am.
So a lot of I feel like we've talked about this.
We have.
Have we talked about mascots?
Extensively.
Have we? Because I feel like we have. So we'll quit talking about it.
Yeah.
All right, never mind.
Oh, my gosh.
If I had to pick, we'll end this way. If I had to pick right now, I have to join. I'm going Air Force.
I'm staying in the Army.
Stay in Army.
I'm going Army.
Yeah, I'm Air Force.
I'm too old for any of them, but
Yeah, they're definitely not taking
No,
me.
45 or 42 or 45, you can join. You're still way outside that
Yeah,
number.
I'm outside the parameters, but 45
Hey,
is.
and to be clear, in case you hear this or whatever, we love you, Marines, Air
We do.
Force,
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Coast Guard, Navy.
I'm just saying, I think like the
And
Air
Army.
Force. I think the Air Force probably has the best of everything. Like they get the best like bases and housing and food, and
Bottom line,
they don't really have like boot camp. I think they have like a small group training or something. They just
Monday night small group.
yeah, they get medals for everything and
Bottom line
or issued their own unicorn.
is the three of us are proud Americans.
Absolutely.
And
Are we?
We are proud of each and every one of you that go and do your thing to make it to where overweight guys like me that are old and have a bad back don't have to.
Yep,
And people that have done their thing.
Yes.
for sure.
We proudly support every branch of the military, including the Space Force.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I can say that the Army is the best because that's what I was in.
Yeah.
So I can say that. I can say that.
This is the best you know.
And nobody can say anything to me about
No
it.
doubt.
All right. So
Space Force to
Space
infinity
Force.
and beyond.
To infinity.
Is that
If that
the
is not
tagline?
their motto,
They missed it. I don't
somebody
know.
is missing
So what, you
something.
got Army Strong. You got one of them's the Few the Proud.
Marines.
What's the Navy's? What's the Navy's? Air Force is fly high or aim high.
Aim high.
The Navy's is
I don't know what the Navy's is.
do I have that in my notes? Skip Google all of them. I don't have it in my notes.
The Navy slogan for last year.
Forged by the Sea.
I feel like you just made that up.
Oh, that's the new service slogan.
Yes.
What's their old one though?
Oh, I don't know.
Go fight, win.
Yeah, it's Forged by the Sea now. It used to just be Go Navy.
That's a dumb one.
Yeah.
They didn't stretch very hard on that one.
So
Yeah.
anyway, thank you all so much for listening to this week.
Yes, sirs.
And I guess that's all for
Ma'ams.
this week. So thanks for listening in.
Absolutely. It's my part, right?
That's it. That's
Your
your
part. It's been a while.
I wasn't
Let
paying
me lead
attention.
back in for you.
Here's the thing.
That's all for this week. Thanks for listening in.
I wasn't paying attention. Make sure you follow us on Facebook at The Guy Pod. Also, please go and subscribe to us on iTunes and YouTube. You can listen to us directly at www. I couldn't stop saying it. It's only 3 W's. TheGuyPod.com, or find us wherever you listen to your podcast.
Hey, if you have any ideas for future shows or you just want to comment on anything we've mentioned, you can email us at therealguypod@gmail.com. Other than that, that's it for this episode of The Guy Pod. So for Josh Kelly and Skip Nichols, I am Adam Gooch, and remember,
When you're in over your head,
The first thing to do is close your mouth.